No, you're on base because with a plan like, Pat wanting to do the triathlon or Chris Ducker wanting to fix his back or, any of my clients, like pregnant people, things of that nature, want to lose the baby weight. When you have a plan, a lot of people don't know how to do it. Like Pat wants to dunk a basketball. He has no idea what to do to dunk a basketball. So now that he has that goal, we set forth a plan to do so. And as he follows it, he's 5'8", and he's now touching the rim of a basketball hoop that's 10 feet in the air. So
Wow.
it's, he's like, oh my God, I've never been able to do this in my entire life. And he's so excited and just now, then it makes you want to do more and more and more. So um, that's where I come in is the listening to people's plans to know how to put them in place so then they can get the results, get that excitedness, and then find the next plan that they want to do. They want to keep going, keep going, keep going. You
Right.
lost your weight because you were on a plan to do so because you wanted to, get healthier, be on stage in front of people, have that confidence. I mean, confidence is a huge factor when you're talking about health and wellness.
Yeah, and I can tell you, from my own personal experience, I mean, it's interesting because, and folks, if you haven't seen your mind do this, I invite you to watch what's going on in your mind at different stages of your life. And here's what I mean. I know when I was bigger, I could act, if I look back on those circumstances when I would meet people and talk to people, I can tell you I acted like, and if you look from the outside, I didn't have the same confidence level. And I was kind of just like the shy fat guy, even though I'm not shy. And that's one of the reasons why people could never relate the two, because when I would come out, when I would finally be comfortable around people, I'd show them my true self, and it would be so incongruent because I'd be kind of like the John Candy, Chris Farley, happy fat guy, and they didn't realize that that was me normally. That what they were seeing was this: I was so unsure because I was overweight that they would accept me. That I, didn't have that confidence, but I know that when I lost the weight and everything else, you walk in with a different air of confidence and everything, and everything else. So back to the important thing, which is you and the knowledge of the plan. So it sounds like one of the things you do with your clients is understand where they want to go and then help work together with them to create a plan so that they can understand and they can accept and they can take that plan into their core so that even when they're not, even on the days or the times they're not working with you, they can stick to the plan. I mean, is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, I mean, because if you correlate it to business, if you want to be a millionaire, well, that's not going to happen tomorrow by not doing anything. You have to have a plan in place to do your marketing, build up your audience, get customers, build brand awareness, all that kind of stuff. So your plan is being put in place, whether it's by you or a coach or someone else. I'm doing the same thing for fitness to take you to the millionaire status of your body. Like I feel like I'm $1 million. You feel like you're $1 million because you changed and you feel good. That feeling, no matter how much money in the world, isn't going to change because I feel great. You feel great. And I want everyone to have that same feeling of, being able to walk around on a beach with their shirt off and not be self-conscious, or is my belly hanging over my pants, or is this bathing suit too tight if I'm a woman? Things of that nature.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. So a question about plans. When you work with a client and you're trying to help them achieve a goal, do you, I hate to say force, but do you recommend they stick to the plan, or do you monitor their future goal and as that changes, change the plan along with it?
oh, it's always changing. I have to roll with the punches. Things come up. Life isn't a perfect plan anyway, so it's ever changing as far as the how to get there, but the end goal is usually always the same.
Epic. So in other words, you really, it sounds like you subscribe to the fact that that the journey and the fun of the journey is more important than that actual hard and rigid plan that you put in place to get there. So that if you want to, it's kind of like if you want to take a sightseeing tour, or if you want to take a detour, you understand what that detour is going to cost, but that you understand that it might be worth the cost. I mean, is that fair to say,
Right.
or
And how to get back on track and, reevaluate how important that end goal is so that if that program has to change a little bit, we can change it. Or if, for some reason they go on vacation, then we have to change the workouts for like that vacation. And so life in general is going to have obstacles, and it's just how to deal with the obstacles for that plan to come in place where they're happy at the end of the day with where they reached in that journey.
Yeah, and in the end, I mean, a plan is like a good plan is like a map. I mean, you understand that you need to be to, to achieve. If you want to if you want to drive from Pennsylvania to Arizona and you want to make it there in 3 days, you're not stopping and you're driving straight through. But if you have 3 weeks to
Right.
get there, you know that, you have to be to this state by this day and this state by this day, or you won't be able to make up the time legally to actually,
To
and it's
get
kind of
there.
an interesting, well, it's kind of an interesting, it's kind of the same analogy because you can't, you can't just, you're not going to drive 200 miles an hour unless you have a hypercar and don't get stopped by any cops. But you can't drive
Right.
200 miles an hour legally to get to Arizona from Pennsylvania and make it there if you leave a day and a half after you were supposed to. Just like there's no legal way to meet your fitness goals if you completely take detours all the time and don't realize that your goal is 3 weeks from now and you haven't lifted one weight or you haven't done one thing, right?
Right. And that's where my knowledge is so effective because when there is little detours, I can get you back on track and still get you there by day 4 or day 5 to Arizona as opposed to just day 3.
Right, exactly. And it sounds like it's all about, okay, so if there was a detour, it's about readjusting maybe the end dates and saying, look, you now have blown past that, but rather than completely getting rid of it for your entire life, let's get you there a couple of days or a couple of weeks later than you originally planned on getting there.
Yes, exactly.
And then that works, unless, and this is where having an accountability partner and them knowing your plan, it sounds like it also works so that, if you have a big race coming up, that
Hmm.
if you stay closer to the plan, you're going to be able to achieve success and get to the weight or get to whatever you wanted to by that race. Where if you don't have a plan, it's a hit or miss whether you're going to achieve what you wanted to by that race or that event, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You got
Epic.
it. Hit the nail on the head.
Epic. Before we get into the call to action, I just want to talk real quick. I mean, it kind of goes into plan, and it's something I didn't plan on doing until about a half hour ago. The fact of the matter is, this whole concept of virtual training is great. And, we've got folks all over the world. We've had people from Canada to, I think it feels like the only country we haven't had is Mexico on this show, but we've had Russia, we've had Ukraine, we've had Spain, we've had India, we've had Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, all over. So we have people all over the world watching this.
Hmm.
The interesting thing I find is that you work with people virtually. Give our folks a little bit of a taste and understanding about what you do to train somebody virtually.
Well, okay. Right now, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I have clients that I train in person, but then virtually, I have people in California, Texas, Oklahoma, Oregon, Canada, Michigan, Florida, Philippines with Chris Ducker, and Jamaica. So that's all over the place as far as geographically. And it's just the same as working out with someone because it's like right now I can see you, you can see me. If I'm telling you to do bicep curls this way, I can watch your form, count your reps, keep the pace going, show the intensity, all that kind of jazz. Um, the huge benefit though is that's where we get into not having to decide between business or health because you don't have to sit in traffic going to a gym. You don't have to um, drive literally anywhere. You don't have to have a whole bunch of equipment. On my website, I have a list of resources, like 4 or 5 pieces of equipment you can get for under $60, and we can utilize everything and have huge, dynamic, fun workouts that you never get bored. So it's not like having a P90X DVD because honestly, you're going to go through P90X even if you did all 3 months of it, and then you're never going to play it again. You're not going to go, oh, I want to start all over again. You want the next, something different.
Yeah.
So with me being a live training, we are always doing something different. We're hitting those goals. We're not taking up a lot of space. You don't have to spend, if you have treadmills or whatever, that's great. We'll utilize it. But we can just do body weight and just start from there. So a lot of my clients are so appreciative of me because they work from home. They have kids. They have families. And they don't have time to go to the gym. So they make it a priority to see me every week and get the routines, work out at home, and it makes it fun because ideally everyone would want to work out at home. It's intimidating being in a gym with all the bigger muscle guys or this or that, especially being a female or an overweight guy or things of that nature. So now there's no intimidation. There's all the accountability in the world. It's totally convenient, and we get results every single time.
Epic. So folks, I'm going to put up a website right now, which is look confused every now and then. That's okay. It's my life. So, folks, I'm going to throw up Jeff's website now. It's totalbodyconstruction.com. And if you go to the resources area, there's a free ebook there called Magic Pill: Lifestyle Secrets of a Personal Trainer, and I highly recommend you get it. And as you've seen from hearing Jeff's hero's journey, hearing how he's had a mother with medical problems, and he had a business that was, I was going to say mildly successful, but yeah, let's face it, it was challenging. And I said mildly successful because, well, guess what? You're going to have to go back and watch to see why I'd even say it was mildly successful, but it was a challenge at the best. He had one business. He realized it wasn't his passion. He realized that there was something else he should be doing. He trusted his gut, and he's turned what used to be a sub, $50,000 a year business, $33,000, and with expenses, it was a lot less than that, as you'll hear when you go back and watch the hero's journey, into a multiple six-figure business. And then if you're just joining us now, you definitely want to go back and listen to and watch the rest of the Experts Focus segment. When we talked about things like being accountable, we talked about nutrition, and we talked about knowledge of a plan. And a lot of stuff you're going to hear in there isn't the same old that everybody else is just out pumping. Jeff does this virtual training thing, which I just think is epic, and it's just amazing that nobody else has done it before then. I think it's going to be one of the next big things, and if you want to get on the forefront and want to get an epic personal trainer, you need to reach out to Jeff. But heck, by the time this show airs, he might not even be taking clients anymore. He might be so busy. He's already got people like Pat Flynn and Chris Drucker on. So if people like that can trust Jeff with their body, you can too. So what you definitely want to do is go out to totalbodyconstruction.com and check Jeff out. Jeff, I think there might even be, at least at the time of recording, there might be something about booking a free assessment. I don't know if it's going to be there when this episode actually airs, but I think I might have saw that on your website. I know I saw a lot of epic stuff there. Folks, like I said, if you haven't watched the rest of the episode, go back and watch, because you're going to understand for yourself, and your gut's going to be able to tell you why Jeff is the guy that you need to work with. And folks, until we meet again, Jeff, thank you for being an epic guest. Thank you for coming on Expert Showcase today, sharing all your knowledge. Thank you for the free resource you're giving people. Folks, I definitely recommend you go out and check it out. And until we meet again, make it an epic day.
To watch the rest of this epic episode now, click on the link below the video. Do it now. You'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Watch the rest of this epic episode now by clicking on the link below the video.